Welcome to Temper Tantrums. I'm your voice of reason, John. Our hosts, Wes and Brandy, will be taking you on their adventure. Here we go.
What's up, guys? Welcome to our first episode.
Yeah, El Nino.
What?
I don't know. I didn't know what to say. It wasn't right. I can tell you that.
All right. On with
Off to
the
a great start.
show.
All right, so you guys want to go into
Yeah,
what you're going to be talking
Anything.
about?
this is our welcome.
Welcome.
Howdy. My name's Brandy. Got my brother here, Wes. We are siblings who are starting this podcast to talk about our past, future, present, our lives, and just wanting to put it out there for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. I know that me and Brandy all the time growing up around our circle of friends, whenever we would talk about our childhood and everything, we'd always get crazy looks or talk about how crazy it was and stuff like that. And we were like, well, let's not like keep on talking about these stories. Let's put it on video or something about that, and share them, not just with friends, but with the world. Why not?
Put it all out there. Let everyone know what kind of things that we've done in our lives and things we lived through.
How you're still alive.
Yeah, how we're still
Yeah.
kicking. What we've learned from those experiences, how we laugh about it, and hopefully there's a lot of comic relief here. You can laugh with us, maybe cry with us.
Maybe relate.
Hopefully not make fun of us unless we're making fun of each other. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, we'll definitely be made fun of.
Probably. But yeah, this is going to start from the beginning and go all the way till the present. We're going to have different episodes talking about different experiences, so we hope you stick around.
Yeah, for sure. I brought this up to you probably last year, was it?
Gosh, I think it was 2 years ago we first talked about it.
Yeah, and how I brought it up to you was I got into Joe Rogan a lot, started watching a lot of Joe Rogan, and it seemed like every time he would have like a comedian on or someone who had like a real unique experience in life, he would just be like, you should start a podcast and you should start a podcast. And Joe Rogan talked me into starting a podcast. So I was like, if I was going to take this adventure on, why not have, my little sister to, I mean, she was already on part of it with this adventure anyway, so why not just bring her on full scale with it? Especially because I know that it would be two different experiences, right? Not only
Two
because
different
of the
points
age,
of view.
two different points of view. They're because of we're 3 years apart.
2 years, 9 months, almost to the day.
Sorry. Uh, not only that, but I mean, you're a girl, I'm a guy, so we would have two different point of views, kind of like that. Yeah, so I thought it'd be really cool to kind of talk about that. We would also like to take this time as like a disclaimer, just to be like, the stories that we tell and stuff like that are just from our experiences and from the memories that we have. This isn't like really calling anybody out or just like showing like some shade on people, like
No shade, no shade.
No shade at all. It's just really just like, these are some experiences that we have. These are some crazy stories and adventures that we've been on through our life, and come ride this crazy roller coaster with us.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. There's going to be lots. There's going to be lots of times where we are giggling and laughing. There's going to be times where we are crying. There's going to be times where we're, pissed off. It's going to be all of it together. Hopefully we can get some closure out of this as well. We can learn about each other's point of view through life a little bit, and also, maybe have some healing with this and put it out there for other people. Let them know they're not alone if they've had some of these experiences too. So, also, big thing, we love our parents. We know that some of these things that we're going to talk about aren't going to like shine the brightest light, but we survived and we become stronger for it. And we love our parents, like I said, and none of this is to like throw any bad light on them at all.
Right, right. And another reason why that I thought it would be a good idea to like do this podcast with you also is because of what you do for a living. Like you have a psychology. Is it?
No,
What is it? Sorry, correct me.
I'm a
What is
medical assistant, bro.
it? A medical assistant, but you work with therapists and things like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I work with like people who are in treatment for, substance use, and also, they're there for like their mental health a little bit too. So we touch on all of that at my job, and a lot of the things that we've experienced in our lives have kind of led me to that. So we'll definitely
Right,
talk more about that.
because you said like the stories that people share, like some of your psychiatrists are like shocked about some of the stories that they share of like how their childhood happened and stuff like that. They're kind of shocked and taken back by it, but you're like, no, that's not normal. Like that's not like I mean that was our experience, stuff like that.
Yeah, so like I
So
work with therapists who are like working with PR clients, and like, they're dealing with a lot of childhood trauma and things like that, and like they'll be discussing clients, and because that's what we do, and to make sure that we're giving them the best care. And so many times I'm like that I can totally relate to my clients. Like I totally get what they're going through, and they're like, "What? What do you mean?" And I'm like, "These things didn't happen for you guys." Like, and I all the time I'm like, what's it like for you guys? What's it like for you guys to grow up like normal? Can't relate to like these kind of things that happen, or like you guys have. But yeah, so like what I do, today, and that kind of reflects on like how we grew up and things like that, and kind of helped me in my decision on where I'm at in life and where I plan to go. So
right, just like to give like not a lot away because we'll be doing that in kind of like the next episode, going over the timeline and everything of kind of how many houses we've lived in. But we added up I think last week or the week before that I lived in 32 and you lived in how many?
26. So
26.
yeah, we sat down with our mom and figured those numbers up, and we still feel like we're missing a couple, to be honest. But yeah, that's kind of where we're
For
at
sure.
right now. Like even we added in like our adult lives too, like what we where we've moved and things like that since we've been out of our parents' house. So yeah, so 32 for Wes and 26 for me. That's a lot, I feel like.
Right. That's a lot. I feel like, yeah, especially since I'm only 33. You're, I don't know,
30.
should I? Okay, I didn't
I'm
know.
30, guys.
But I feel like for that many years, that many houses, like I mean, that's almost one every year I've been alive. I've almost moved.
Yeah. Yeah, and because like John and I have lived. John's my husband, by the way. He's also our voice of reason. He does our sound. He's making sure our video quality is good. Shout out to my homie.
Shout.
But also like John and I have lived in our place now for almost 5 years. Like so, when you think about it, like that's 5 years that we've been in this one spot, but 26 moves. Like that's insane. every time that I've kind of talked about that with other people, they're like, "Oh, were your parents in the military? Were they like, did you guys move around a lot just to different bases?" And I'm just like, "Nah, fam, we just didn't pay our bills."
Well,
No.
especially
So
since we come off, like a military kid. Like we come off like, I
Yeah.
don't know if you still do it, but yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. Like, to be honest, like this era is like, with trying to be polite and everything, like it's kind of tough. But
It
just like,
is.
yeah, that's how we were kind of brought up. You had to say your ma'ams, be respectful, and we moved a lot, so it almost kind of felt like a military style home, just no money.
Yeah, yeah, just without the help, just without the help of like the military moving us, you
Yeah,
know. So, and the stability, because even if you are like a military family, you still have some kind of stability, But like, yeah, so we're going to be talking about a lot of that, a lot of different branches of that, of our childhood, and where that's brought us today, and how like we've gone through life and thought about those things, and also like how it's made us like adults and parents and spouses and all of those crazy things in between.
right. So, what are some of the things that you're wanting to like kind of achieve with this, Brandy?
So, like I said, I definitely want, just to kind of get some closure, I think, with some of the things that we've been through and like how we've had to learn and grow and things like that. And I think talking about it with you, especially, and having like an audience, I think it'll give me some closure. I think that I also want to just put it out there so that like if other people or like teens or anything like young adults or anything have experienced, some of the rough stuff that we have, they'll feel like they're not alone or they're not the only ones that have gone through that, and they can see that like they can survive it and come out on the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, I'm super funny, so I just want everyone to like know that.
Oh God.
Humble. She's also really humble. We don't want to put
Put
that
that
out
on my
there.
resume.
Yeah, I would like to like
What are you trying to get
hear.
out of this?
um, I don't know. Real like um a lot of things. I think. I think like, not really to pinpoint why I am the way that I am, but like kind of to understand why I am the way that I am. Just because like, um, there's like, I did professional wrestling, and for like my character, I always told people was almost like a branch off myself, and my wrestling character was like a schizophrenic, you know, kind of person, and I always felt like, yeah, kind of like I've always been kind of like a little crazy, and like to kind of understand like why and where that comes from and kind of stuff like that, I think would be really cool to kind of just dissect my brain a little bit to go further into myself, but also have like someone to be there so I don't go like
Deep dive.
deep dive. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Someone to pull me back, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't go too far down into that dark trench.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think also just to like have someone else to be like, yeah, that actually really did happen. Because I think a lot of times as we were growing up, like we would talk about things and people like, I don't think that's real. You know what I mean? And so it's nice to have that other person to be like, yeah, like I remember that. Like I can like talk about that and talk about my side of that. So I think that some of that is just kind of
Oh,
like
cutting out.
would be nice just to have, and have it like maybe down the line that we can just like look back on and
You're.
think about our growth from that too.
I'm back. Sorry. Uh, you were talking about bouncing off of each other and making sure the like stories were actually true and stuff.
Yeah, just to have someone that's like to be like, yeah, like I was there, like I understand, like I get that, and also like some people were just like not believing us, I feel like, and they're like, that's not even legit. But I think having someone else there that can also be like, yeah, that really happened, like, and also tell their side of that. I think it'll be an interesting show for people, and also hopefully it'll be entertaining for them a little bit. So, um, I think it'll be a growing experience for us for sure. Learning more about ourselves and talking about that, talking through it.
Before you were cutting off, you were saying the being able to stories and saying, yeah, that's actually something that confirmation, not actually like thinking, wow, did I actually like make that up, or did that actually happen the way that I thought that it happened?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
And also, like, if like the more that we do this, hopefully we do like grow a fan base and stuff like that. And I was really hoping to like actually hear from other people too, like either like uh like that have like the same kind of stories, or just like have other stories too. There's just like, you know, because I'm sure we're not the only kids that moved so many times that felt like they were in the military. Like I'm sure that's never happened,
Right.
or like other things. Um, is there anything like? Is there any other things that we can kind of give away that we can almost hint
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, I also want to put it out there that we hope to be putting out an episode every week. Hopefully you guys can attend those and hear our story, hear what we got to say, and also give us some feedback on things. Reminder to be kind. I mean, we're pretty funny, but like, come on. But also, I think, I think some of our friends will get a kick out of it too, just hearing the stories and hearing hopefully some good stories about them as well. And um, I think it's going to be a good time for all of us.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're doing this to do it. We're not doing it to like, you know, make money and things like that. We're doing this just as like something fun and something, you know, meaningful.
Yeah. Well, we also come from like kind of a long line of storytellers too, so it's kind of like in our blood to like tell stories. Like dad is a kind of a very long-winded person. He likes to tell stories, especially, as we were kids, things that happened, and things that happened while he was a kid too, because he had kind of a crazy childhood also.
Yeah, mom did too.
Mom
They
did
both like,
too.
I mean, like when as we're going through all these stories, I just want to remind people like our parents didn't have they didn't have great childhoods. Like they didn't have people that like showed them how to do things properly or like the best way, and like their generation that they grew up in, it's so different from what it is now, like, with feelings and things like that. Like, so I think that we'll get into that a lot too, and like our different like rules and things like that we had to live by, and the things that we've learned and things we're not going to hold our children to.
Right. Like we were like overly, like we did like have like some, I mean, we were like some families were like we had to like I've met some friends and stuff like that like have stability in their life, but also like were like had harsh rules that they had to live under. You know what I mean? It was like very Christian based, kind of stuff like that was very hard. But we never like really had like those strict, you know, ground lines really. Like we had
Yeah.
to behave,
But I think
but as long
it
as
came
we
and
were,
went though.
yeah, that's true too.
Remember that one time dad went on that like whole like religious thing and like threw away all of those like Germany like cups and things like from like beer and stuff and like threw all of them away, the steins. Remember
Oh
that?
yeah.
Like,
Yep.
so it kind of came and went with like our rules and things like that. A lot of the time we were left to our own devices, you know what I mean? Because our parents worked and, you know, but our parents told us they loved us every single day at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, we knew we were loved in their own way. We weren't like physically abused and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, we got spanked. What would maybe seem abuse now was
Yeah.
not back then. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's yeah, I think that it'll be nice to see different sides with people like calling in or people like messaging us and things like that and telling us their stories too. We can kind of like and talk about those different experiences with people.
Yeah. And we were also like, we haven't talked. I haven't talked to anybody yet, but I know that like I would kind of like would try to get guests on that has kind of like been through the experiences too. You know what I mean? With us and kind of get
Oh, like our
there,
cousins?
like our cousins. Yeah, I'd like to get there kind of. Because I know
Yeah.
like Josh would have like a different perspective on it because he was like the older one, kind of like the Overwatch of all of us, and then
Yeah.
like I'm sure Ryan would have a different perspective than everyone else, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
With a little backstory, like we live with our cousins a lot. We were always with our cousins 24/7 when we lived in Tennessee. Like those were our best friends. Those were our friends. We didn't care about having other friends, like because we always had our cousins.
Well, we
Those
moved
are who we.
so many times that it was hard to actually keep actual friends, but
Yeah.
cousins would either live with us, stay with us, or was there all the time.
Every weekend, like all the time, or live with us, you know. So we have all of the same, like similar, same experiences in life and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think, and just to even reminisce a little bit with him on this show and just like talk about the things and laugh about them and stuff like that. I think it would be really cool. Obviously, Mom said that she could come on as long as we don't make fun of her. So
That
there's
can't
an
happen.
option. And I don't know if that would even make it, but so I mean, and like we could have Dad on, and talk to him about some of the things and like some of his childhood and stuff like that. Like, so we have a lot of things to hash and to talk about and hopefully just to like put out there for people.
Yeah. Yeah. And like we don't. I mean, things will probably get branched off too, because I know like once we start talking about like Suge and stuff like that, which is a guy that will meet on our timeline. Uh, like he influenced like the reason why we know music so well. You know what I mean? Like our music libraries, like we have a pretty good music library. I mean, yeah, Dad used to test us on like music trivia going down the road, but like Suge would play it like it would be playing on the radio, like play it
He
right
was
there in
that
front of you.
hippie that like gave us a different perspective on life too. Like that like peace and love kind of thing. When we knew a lot of anger.
Yeah.
Like we had a lot of anger. So it was nice to have that person in our lives.
Hmm. And what's some stuff that you would like to talk about, Brandy? Some like if we would go on a tangent, what's the subject that you would like to tangent about?
Holy cow. I could go on a tangent about that time we fell out of Mom's truck and rolled down the road. I could go on a tangent about that time we got kidnapped, about that time that someone broke into our house, like, and was wanting to kill us. Like, we have lots to unpack here. We have lots to talk about.
I mean, one of
So,
our babysitters is on death row.
death row. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Holy
and
crap.
he was part of our family for a long time, and now he's like up for murder of 3 people. So, and he was like our uncle, like not just our babysitter. He was like our uncle. So it's like, talking about that stuff. We have lots of stories about the first time I saw one of our uncles snort cocaine off of the kitchen table. Like, our cousin, trapped a rabbit and cut off his foot and said, "I got a rabbit foot." Traumatizing, friends. Traumatizing.
That's
I love
Yeah,
animals.
Holy
I
crap.
got to witness 2 overdoses by the time I was 12.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I never experienced anything like that.
But the thing is, our parents did try to shield us from a lot of things.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. For real. I think I was the first time that I got high, I was like 12, and that's whenever I was told, like, listen, look, everyone that smokes, weed, and like I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then yeah.
Took my first drug screen in 5th grade. Like, what are you gonna do?
Oh, yeah.
So just prepared me for life, okay? It prepared me for those drug screens in the future. So yeah, I mean, we have a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about, and we are going to be here every week talking about them. We hope that you guys come back and listen and join in on these conversations as well, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Is there any media source that some people could like get you at, like
Oh
contact you at?
yeah. Yeah, let's just go ahead and send that on right through to John. He's our media manager, aka
AKA
John the Media Man.
Our voice of reason. Reason
Our
with us,
voice of
man.
reason.
Yeah,
Reason
so
with us.
we will have a Twitter, a Instagram, and probably a Patreon set up within probably a week or so. And I will put all those details in the description for anybody who wants to reach out and hit us up. I will also be making a email, and I will also put that in the description. So if you want to send us anything, like a story that you had from your childhood that you want to relate on, that you felt like you could relate with somebody, or just want to tell us your story, and we could touch base on it and go over that, and see how crazy everybody's lives are, and just go from there. So I'll have all that information in the description, and once everything's settled, we will start posting it in our podcast, so that way you guys can hear it here, and you'll have the links to go to. So
Yeah. Next episode, what? We're going to be talking about our timeline of the houses we've lived in. I got a page and a half of houses. That's not even leading up to when we moved to Indiana.
that's not even just the stories, that's just the houses.
That's just the timeline with
Just
little
the
bullet
timeline.
points.
Yeah, we did put little bullet points in there just for like little reminders and everything like that. Just so like we can remind of like the little stories that happened in each house, and if like we put them in there as bullet points just in case if like one of the listeners wants us to do like a deep dive on that story or even that house, we could probably go back and do that a little bit easier and stuff like that. Brandy, before we head out and everything, I have a question for you. Okay. If this thing kicks off and everything, and we could get any 3 guests, what would be your top 3 guests that we would bring on?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Top 3 guests. Oh my goodness. I don't even know. It's so hard. Okay. Obviously, I want to bring on my bestie, my homegirl, B. Kelly. Okay. Because
That's a
She's my soul
celebrity.
sister.
I mean, not the same
She's a
thing.
straight celeb. Like, I don't know if you guys know her, but like everyone we know knows her. Okay.
She's big in the V. You're right.
She.
Oh,
Wait.
that's Vincent. We call Vincent the V.
The dirty V.
Dirty V.
Doesn't get better. Yeah, and I think, obviously I want to bring in Kristen, and maybe Steven, because we were the three amigos. So.
Okay. I was
Who
thinking
you
more
bringing?
like celebrities, but
Okay, so celebs, real celebs.
yeah, like anyone.
Oh my gosh, anyone?
Anyone.
Okay.
Who would you pick?
Burt McCracken, because he is the lead singer of the U's. That's my favorite band. And it would just be awesome just to talk to him in general. Celebs. Keanu Reeves, because I think he's awesome. And everything I read about him is awesome, and the way he lives his life, like he's not like a celebrity, and he's just like chill, and he does good things for people.
Dean Winchester.
Jensen Ackles. Whew, boy.
Oh, thanks.
No, you're gonna need to talk through the episode.
Yeah,
okay?
I couldn't have him on here. Yeah, no. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. No, but
we'd have to get a sponsorship from ShamWow or something.
Oh my God.
Okay. Not okay. Not okay. I don't know. I have no idea. Like, I would obviously want to bring in some people who are doing good in the world. Like, but it's like I'm on the spot and I can't even think about it. Who would you bring?
The celebrities or regular people?
Celebrities.
Celebrities. Joe Rogan, just because like it was his idea for this.
Mm-hmm.
Bert Kreischer, because we're both the Machine, and we share that, and then Quentin Tarantino.
Feet.
What?
That's all I think
What?
of his feet when I hear Quentin Tarantino.
Oh.
The foot fetish.
Okay, well, we're not inviting him now.
Oh
So.
my God. I mean, he makes good movies. I'll give him that. But,
Awesome movie.
Oh my gosh.
Oh shoot. All right. We got 1 minute. So
All right, guys. So yeah, come back and see us next week. Hear about our crazy timeline, and keep coming back. Talk to us. Let us know what's up. What's up with your life? If you can relate to any of this or anything. Man. What?
I just realized we have our own timeline. Like Marvel has a timeline, the DC has a timeline. Now we have our own timeline.
But they also have alternate universes too. Do we have that?
We're about to find out. Hey, if you're an alternate Wes or Brandy and you're listening,
let us know. Hit us up.
Oh my God. All right. So with that being said,
thanks
hit us up next
to
week.
The temper tantrums.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
We'll see everybody next week.
Ta-ta for now.
Bye-bye. Ta-ta. Ta-ta. ShamWow.
ShamWow.
Never do that again. Don't do. That's not your gimmick. You can't.
I am the walrus.